Fran Robinson, welcoming you to another episode of Used Bike Heaven, the show that takes the legwork out of finding the right used bike for you. Each week we work hard to find 3 bikes for our lucky punter and then furnish them with all the facts they need to make the purchase. This week we've decided to speed things up a little. We've got 3 very sporty little numbers to get your pulse racing. And of course Rob Gibson will be on hand to give some vital tips on used bike ownership. Now on with the show, let's meet this week's test rider. Claire Lavine is a customer sales advisor from High Wycombe. She started riding 2 years ago and passed her test first time round with flying colours. Her first bike was an Aprilia RS125 race rep. She then moved on to a Gsxr 600, which unfortunately came a cropper on a roundabout. Her current bike is a Gsxr 750, also in need of repair. And that is why Claire needs our help. Let's hope our selection is fast enough for her. So Claire's looking for some fast fun for between £4,500 and £5,000. With this budget, we've got a nice selection of bikes. All our bikes between 3 and 5 years old and should satisfy Claire's requirements for some knee-down action. We've decided to go for something a bit bigger and a bit different, and I think Claire is going to have a tough decision on her hands. So let's see what the first bike is. First up is the ZX9R, which could be today's bargain bike. The ZX9, like all Kawasaki sports bikes, has a fabulously well-planted front end. It's quick off the mark and it's no slouch at stopping in a hurry either. It weighs in at a beefy 186 kilograms, which is quite hefty compared to other sports bikes on the market. And this is Claire. Claire, how are you doing?
I'm very cold.
I bet you're sorry to keep you waiting, but you have found our Kawasaki.
I have.
What do you think of it?
It's nice. It's a bit big.
Yeah.
But I like it. Looks good.
Because you have a Gsxr 750, don't you?
I do. And
right.
I'm not really a Kawasaki girl. Never ridden a Kawasaki. Been on the back.
Yeah.
And found it very comfortable, honestly. But never ridden one myself.
Yeah. Do you do many miles?
I'm a fair weathered rider only. I don't do winter.
So,
but yes, no.
Yeah.
I do about 6,000 miles in the summer.
Yeah. Well, I always say that people should never judge Kawasaki's because people say, oh, they're dated and this, that, and the other. You get on them.
But we'll see.
We will see. I like the cut of your jib. I like the way you're thinking. Right. So, get your helmet on and tell us what you think.
Okay, we'll do.
Marvellous. This ZX9R is a 2000 model, priced at £4,495. The Ninja has a solid engine. It will run and run and run. It's unstoppable. The one area on this machine that is worth checking is the rear shock absorber. It tends to go west, so give it a once-over before buying. The ZX has a lot of attitude and a huge following, largely due to the Kawasaki's presence in the British superbike. It produces a usable 142 brake horsepower, which is plenty to play with. For a big sports bike, it's surprisingly genteel in town, but can reach warp speeds should you feel the need to. Essentially, this is a bike that is fast, comfy and very user-friendly. If you have a need for speed and a need for something sensible too, then the ZX9 could be the ideal compromise. So Claire, the Ninja, what did we think to it?
Well, as I said before, I'm not a Kawasaki girl, but impressed.
Really?
I like it. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's a bit heavy, but it doesn't actually feel heavy when you're riding it at all.
That's it. You get used to it, don't you?
And it's not quite as big as it looks.
So power. I mean, this is what the ZX9R. So I mean, you're obviously used to your 750.
So, yeah. It doesn't. I must admit, it doesn't pick up as quickly.
Right.
It's a 750, but it is bigger.
Yeah.
It's a lot heavier than mine.
Yeah.
Hell of a I'd never pick this up.
Yeah. But you felt confident with it though.
Loved it.
Very
Absolutely
good.
loved it.
You look very at home on it, I might say. How are the brakes?
All right. I mean, they're not brilliant, but they're not really bad either. So they're actually quite good. I like them.
Yeah. Brilliant. So you actually think you might be persuaded to be a Kawasaki girl then?
Right. It's really very smooth. I like it. I do like it.
Right, okay. Anything that you really don't like about it?
Probably it's a bit too upright.
Right.
I do like
you're used
I do
to
like my little racing crouch.
I've heard you're a little bit leery.
A little bit leery. Why does everybody say that?
Well, never mind then. Now, before we actually let you decide on each bike, we want you to give each bike a score on a scoreboard in certain categories. So we need to know what you give the Kawasaki ZX9R. So Claire, what do you give the Kawasaki for style?
8, because it is a bit bulky.
And performance?
8 again, because it is responsive.
Practicality?
7 because you could do more miles on it.
Reliability.
Give that a 6 because it seems to start very well.
And value for money.
An 8 because it's in my price range.
Well, that's bike 1, but you don't have to decide just yet. Next up, it's the Honda CBR 900 Rr Fireblade. The Fireblade could be considered as the gentleman of the sports bike world, accomplished, well-behaved and easy to get on with. The blade has been around since 1992 and has dominated the sports bike scene since then. Anytime, any place, anywhere, the blade can handle it all. It's fast, it handles, it stops and it's light, which will be important to Claire, and it's Honda built, so it will survive most of what this fast lady chucks at it. The only downside is it's insurance group 17 and Claire is only 22. It could be pricey for her to keep on the road. So Claire, bike number 2. We thought we'd treat you to a bit of a Fireblade.
Thank you.
What do you think?
I do like them. I do them a lot. When I was buying my Gsxr, it was that or this.
Oh right, so you've ridden one of these before?
Well, no, because I never got around to it because the Gsxr came up. It was a sort of one chance thing, so I snapped it up. And I never got around to test riding a bike.
My goodness, so you obviously do like the looks of these then?
Absolutely gorgeous.
They are really nice, aren't they? And obviously, I mean, they're the best-selling bike, and anybody that has them buys them again and again and again.
Exactly, so they must be doing something right. So there must be something good about them.
Yes, well, we need to know what it is really, don't we?
We do.
So are you going to get your helmet on and let us know what you think? The Fireblade has been relaunched this year. It's now about the same size as the CBR6. Let's see how Claire gets on with this 2000 model, priced at $4,995. Not much usually goes wrong with a Honda, but don't be complacent. Check the blade for all the usual crash damage and race signs. Buckled front wheel, damaged head bearings and knackered top fairing mounting bolts from far too many wheelies. One area that's a little weak is the gearbox. Second gear can disappear. This is remedied by either undercutting the gear teeth or replacing them. Both expensive options, so take your blade for a test ride first, just to make sure. So Claire, did we make a mistake with the Gsxr then?
Maybe.
Tell me what you think to it.
No, I mean this bike is gorgeous. It's got the power, it's smooth. It's incredibly good looking. Yeah. Everyone does look at you, don't they?
Yeah, it is an amazing bike.
Incredibly uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable? Why uncomfortable?
I don't think this seat's got any padding in it whatsoever.
Really?
It's a bit hard.
Good grief. Well, I mean, are you going to do track days with it?
Yes, well I'm looking for something for both.
Yeah.
Because obviously I do just personal mileage playing around, but I do the track days as well.
Right. So you're not looking for comfort with a track day? Now, riding position comfort-wise, how is that? Because obviously you've got the Suzuki, so it's going to be, that's extreme.
Yes.
Is this
well, it's very much similar.
Yeah.
So it's quite comfortable for me because that's what I'm used to anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I do like it.
Yeah. Talk me through the power then.
The delivery is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, you squeeze the throttle, it goes. There's no stopping it at all.
Well, that brings me on to the brakes. So the brakes good?
They work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
As long as you stop when you need to stop, hey.
Right. Now, handling, because obviously the other one was heavy. How's this?
Well, it's a lot lighter.
Yeah.
A lot lighter. I mean, on blustery days like this, you do sort of involuntary change lanes slightly, but with that, it sort of sticks to the road.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that you can work around.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I suspect you might be liking it.
I like it.
Yes. Well, we need to know what you give us on the scoreboard.
You do.
So, Claire, what do you give the Honda for style?
It'd have to be 10 because it is very good looking.
And performance?
8 because it does move a bit.
And practicality?
That's going to have to be a 4 because it just isn't.
And reliability?
Well, it is a Honda, so it's going to be a 7.
And value for money?
Bit pricey, but again, it's a blade, so a 7.
So, Claire, you've ridden bikes 1 and 2. I'm not quite sure which way you're going to lean at the moment because I know you like them both for different reasons. But of course, you don't have to choose just yet because we've got bike number 3 to come. But before we go to that, we're going to go to Rob Gibson, who's going to give us some essential tips on living with a used bike.
Now, one thing you will need to check on any second-hand bike is the condition of the brakes. The only way to really tell what condition the brake pads are in is to take the calipers off the bike. Now, I've loosened these bolts off so I can pull the caliper straight off the disc there, and if I pull that away, you can now see the 2 brake pads there. and these have got lots of lining left. That's in quite good condition. The other thing that we do need to check is the condition of the caliper piston, which you can see there, and again this one looks pretty good. Now, a more modern sports bike will have multi-piston calipers like this one, and you can see there are 2 pistons in there and they both need to be in good condition. What you don't want to find in your brake caliper is corrosion like that on the caliper piston, and if you find anything like that, that has to be replaced. That's an essential safety feature. If you do need to fit more brake pads, you can now get some excellent aftermarket pads like these. These have zinc backings on the back of the pads, and that means that they don't corrode in place in the caliper. And the final thing that you'll need to check is for warped brake discs. And if you do find a disc like this as warped, it can cost upwards of £80 for each replacement. So that can be a really good tool to bargain down the price of the bike.
I'll be hearing more from Rod later. So far, Claire Lavine from High Wycombe has tested the Gsxr and the Fireblade, 2 great bikes. Now after the break, we'll be revealing bike number 3, which is just that little bit different. And I can't wait to see how it shapes up against bikes 1 and 2. So, see you in a mo. Welcome back to Used Bike Heaven. This week we're with Claire Lavine from High Wycombe, who currently owns a Gsxr 750, but is on the lookout for a sports bike so she can get her knee down. She's already tested the Gsxr and the Fireblade, and now it's time to reveal bike number 3. Last but not least, it's the Buell Cyclone. Putting a Harley engine in a sports bike frame may have seemed like wholesome madness when the Buell first came on the scene, but it really does work. The Buell M2 Cyclone, which we have here today, is a big contender on the handling front. Buells are known for their short wheelbase and steep rake angle, and it will turn in so quick you'll be around the corner before you know it. The looks are unusual, but once you've ridden one, you'll be smitten. The Harley engine is reliable and easy to work at. And now it's time to reveal bike number 3, the Buell.
It's a Harley.
That's irrelevant, Claire. You might like it.
True.
What do you think of the looks of it?
Okay, well it does look mean, menacing. Looks a bit of a bloke's bike.
It does look a bit of a bloke's bike, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I'm up for anything.
Well,
I like bikes.
That's it. You don't know. I mean, it's something different. Have you ever ridden anything like this before?
Only when my CB500 when I did my test.
Right.
And then went straight onto plastic pocket rockets,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. So you have ridden kind of naked, but not quite like this.
Not quite like this. No.
Well, there you go. You see, we like to give you a treat. So do you want to get your helmet on and let us know what you think?
All right then.
Claire is testing the 2001 Buell Cyclone, priced at $5,195. Buells in general have had a few recalls, so make sure the one you're buying is well sorted. Buells tend to get overlooked when it comes to sports bikes, probably because they're a bit more on the street bike side than the out-and-out sport. But they are fast, agile, sound amazing and look pretty funky. What more could a girl need? So Claire, was it the beast you thought it would be?
Yes, it is.
What did you think of it?
It's loud. It is very powerful,
Yeah.
but not quick.
Well, this is a 1200 engine. So I mean, it's decidedly bigger, but
It
only
is.
70 odd brake horsepower. So
So it's not as quick,
no.
but it is quite powerful.
Yeah.
Not too keen on the position. It's a
Yeah.
bit too upright for me. I mean, it's quite windy today, and I was getting caught by the wind as opposed to the bike being caught by the wind.
Yeah.
It was blowing me all over the place.
Yeah. Seat looks nice and big and comfy though.
It is comfy.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
especially compared to the Fireblade, but
When you're sitting at traffic lights, it's really comfy.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just when you get going, it vibrates a lot.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's a
very,
Harley,
very
isn't
much.
it? Really, at the end of the day, I suppose you're always going to get that. Really. So brakes and things.
Brakes aren't too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know it's got new pads on it, so we're
So they
getting with
should
the
be good.
brakes. Yes.
Handling. How did you? I mean, I know obviously it is a different position to what you're used to and what you're into, but how did you find it going around the roundabouts and stuff?
Well, it felt quite solid.
Yeah.
But I think that's got something to do with the weight because it is a very heavy bike. It didn't slip, it didn't slide, but then I didn't want to take it too hard because I'm not really used to sitting up.
So this could save you your licence, this bike, really.
It
then.
could, yes.
Dials and everything, all right? Because I mean, this is quite neat and compact, isn't it?
It's easy to read because
Yeah.
you've only got one thing to concentrate on,
Yeah.
as opposed to all your little digital figures and your needles going everywhere.
Yeah. But it's not your
It's not,
cup of tea, is it,
no,
particularly?
no.
Don't give me too much away, but
But-
I can tell. But we do need to go to the scoreboards and see what you give it. So, Claire, what do you give the Buell for style?
It's going to have to be a 6 because, as you said, it does look pretty funky.
And performance?
It's not all that, down at a 4.
Practicality?
It is the most comfortable out of the lot, so I'll give it a 5.
And reliability?
Due to all the recalls, it's going to have to be a 3.
And value for money?
Again, it's the most expensive, going to have to be a 3.
OK, Claire, you've ridden all 3 bikes now, and overall on the scoreboard, the Kawasaki wins, which has surprised me, actually. But before you make your final decision, we're going to go to Dr. Rod, who's going to give us a recap on each bike and the pros and cons of second-hand ownership.
The ZX9 is fast, furious fun personified. It's more comfortable than a Fireblade, and with 140 brake horsepower on tap, it doesn't hang around when you hit the throttle. It's not an all-out nutter bike like, say, a 1000 Gsxr, but it will leave plenty lesser bikes for dead. But the ZX can eat its own cycle parts for breakfast if abused. The brake discs warp and the suspension can self-destruct. All easy enough to fix with a little cash, but do be prepared to pay for your fun. Late models have bulletproof engines, and the data tool alarm on this bike will impress the insurers and knock a few quid off the premium. At 4.5 grand, this looks like a good buy. Well, what more can be said about the Fireblade? This is the bike that started a movement and has set the pace for sports bikes since its introduction way back in 1992. Buy a blade and you're buying a legend, and that reputation is well deserved. Look after it and it will run forever, but do be prepared to have your wallet sprinting to keep up with the consumables. Rear tyres in particular can vanish at a frightening rate if you ride the bike the way God intended. Fuel injection makes this an easy bike to work on, and there's no doubt in the Honda's build quality. I reckon the Blade is this week's safe bet. It's culture shock for Claire. After life with the Gsxr, the Buell's big V-twin engine is going to feel lumpy and raw, but like all V-twins, it's an acquired taste and some folks love them to bits. Buells are well put together, but the unconventional design will mean many high street dealers will be put off, so you're going to end up paying Harley-Davidson prices for your servicing. The Cyclone has a more exclusive image than either of the 2 Japanese bikes, and it will hold its value better. The Sportster engine is now well sorted for reliability, and only the slightly clunky gear change gives away the bike's cruiser heritage. At 5 grand, this could be a life-changing experience.
So, you've got to put me out of my misery. Which one is it going to be?
Right, well, it's not going to be the Buell,
You do surprise
funnily
me.
enough. But I can't honestly decide between the Fireblade or the ZX9.
Even though the Ninja wins on the scoreboard.
It does, but it's a Fireblade. So
It's got you, hasn't it?
It has.
So what are we going to do?
So I think we're going to go back to the dealership. We're going to see what they can offer for me.
Right.
Going to haggle them down a bit.
I like a haggle. I like a challenge. Shall
And
we
then
go?
I'll give you a choice.
Oh, marvellous. Come on. Today's deal is being done at Millennium Motorcycles in St Helens. Claire will be trying to haggle with John Deakin over the ZX9R and the Fireblade, which are currently on sale for 4.5 and 5 grand. Right, Claire, this is John. John's quite harmless, aren't you, John?
I am.
John, this is Claire. Now, we've been testing 3 bikes, as you know, and Claire is very interested in 2, so it's down to you to do us a good deal.
Oh well, try my best.
All right, Claire, fire away.
Right, so it's come down to the Fireblade and the ZX9R. Basically, I'm interested in both of them for different reasons.
Which are?
Well, the ZX9R is really comfortable, but the Fireblade's a Fireblade. And it looks really pretty, and I just love it, really.
But you're in 2 minds, aren't you? Because you do track days, but you do a lot of miles as well.
So, sort of both of them would be good. Buy one, get one free. Okay.
Bye, Bob.
You wish.
Well, I've got a Gsxr 750.
Right.
12 months tax, GP Telefonica colours, full service history, Suzuki service history.
Yeah.
About sort of 16,500 miles on it.
Yeah.
I'm in one on Part Exit. Looking for about 3 grand, is that?
Yeah, I don't think you're being unreasonable at all there. I'll just take it into workshops to get my guys to check it over. But based on what you're saying, I'd be happy to go ahead on that.
Right. Okay.
That's a start.
Right.
Right, if you were going for either of those bikes, bearing in mind, you know, if you do track days and you do the others, which one would you say would be?
If you do track days and you're looking for just something to give you the buzz, it's the Blade every time. But if Claire's looking for something that's a little bit more comfortable, she'll feel refreshed when she's done maybe 100 miles. It's the ZX9 every time.
Right, so, and suitable for track days as well?
Yes, you know, it's kind of a little bit more weight, but yeah, it's up there.
You have biceps by the end of it, you see.
What? It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So then prices, we need to know prices on both bikes. Steve's grinning at me now.
Right. How are you thinking of paying for it? Because we offer finance.
Well, it'll probably be, if I can part-ex my Gsxr,
Yeah.
then I'll be paying the balance in cash.
Right.
So if we're looking at $3,000 for the Gsxr,
Yeah.
We're looking at...
how much?
1,500.
For the ZX9R?
Yeah.
Right, so there's no give on that. What about the Fireblade?
Fireblade, because I've got another one in similar colour, I would let that go for 1,400.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, we might have a decision maker there.
Well, I think we might have.
Ooh. Well, it's been fantastic, John. I think I'm going to not put Claire under any more pressure because I know it's so tough for you, this one, isn't it? But I think we'll go away and think about it and get back to you.
Look forward to seeing you again.
It's been a great pleasure dealing with you, John.
Thank you.
So, Claire, the Fireblade has worked out cheaper than the ZX9R. Does it make a difference?
It does now. But as I said, when I came here, I liked the Fireblade.
Yeah.
And then I rode the ZX9
Yeah.
and liked the ZX9.
Yeah.
But I do still like the Fireblade. But I just don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I suppose that's the thing. You like your extreme, obviously, because you've got your Gsxr. But if you are going to do a lot of miles, then the
It's going to be the
ZX9R.
ZX. But then I could just put up with the numb bum for a bit.
I think you're selling yourself the Fireblade
I
here.
think I might be.
But you still don't really know, do you?
No, not really.
You're going to have to go away and think about it, aren't you? Will you do me a favour? Will you keep me informed of which way you go?
Of course I will.
Thank you very much, because I have no idea right now.
Me neither.
Well, that's it for this week, but fear not, we will be back with another Used Bike Heaven next week. See you then. After a lot of deliberating, Claire decided the Fireblade was the way to go. Unfortunately, she's not found one that suits her pocket, but I think we came close. Join us next week for another Used Bike Heaven.